Hello everyone. In last session we have seen what is array list and what are the various methods for creation of array list objects and an example program on it. And in today's session we are going to discuss about vector class. Right? What is vector? Vector is an implementation class of list interface. But I want to discuss few things about the vector class. See, vector class was developed prior to collection framework itself, right? That means that vector was released in Java 1.0 version. When Java was released, then itself this vector class was released with the Java. Then later in Java 1.2 version, this collection framework was introduced and this vector class was made some changes so that it is compatible with the collection framework. So after making changes to the vector which was introduced in 1.0, then it became the implementation class of list interface. Clear? So we can say that this vector is a legacy class. What is legacy class? Legacy class means old class, outdated class, we can say. Okay, legacy class. Legacy, right? So for what purpose we'll use this vector? Similar purpose as array list and linked list, right? So vector is used for storing group of individual elements. For what purpose we'll use vector? Vector is used for storing group of individual elements. Okay, then ma'am, are duplicates allowed for storing in vector? Right? Duplicates storage is allowed or not? What did I say in the earlier step? Vector is an implementation class of list interface. So in list, can we store duplicates or not? Yes. So as vector is an implementation class, in vector also duplicates are allowed. Duplicates are allowed, and storage order is also preserved in case of vector. What is storage order? In what order we have added the elements to the vector? The elements will be added in the same order only. Okay, so storage order is also storage order is preserved. Storage order is preserved, right? Till now all the points of vector is very similar to the array list. Now we'll discuss about what are the differences of vector compared to your array list. The first major difference is like your vector class is synchronized, your vector object is synchronized. What is synchronization? Your vector object is synchronized. What is synchronization? Synchronization means when an object is synchronized, at most one thread can access it at a time. Thread safe, we can say. Only one thread can access that object at a time. Right? If an object is not synchronized, then multiple threads can access it at a time. What happens if multiple threads access? Sometimes it may lead to data inconsistency problem. If 2 or 3 threads are accessing an object's data at a time, sometimes there may be chance of data inconsistency. To avoid that problem, we are going for the synchronization techniques. What synchronization means? See, if an object is synchronized, then it can be accessed by only one thread at a time. All these details we have already discussed in the threads concept, right? So vector is synchronized. That means at most one thread can access it at a time, right? This is the major difference. And one more difference is all the methods of vector class are somewhat different. The names of the methods are different, but the purpose is same. Compared to array list, purpose is same, but names will be slightly changed. Like we'll have some somewhat lengthy names in case of vector. Names of methods are different. Okay, clear? Now we'll see what are the number of ways that are available for creation of vector object, right? So for creation of vector object, total there are four ways are available. The first method is first method. The first method is using the zero parameterized constructor, right? So by using zero parameterized constructor, we can create the vector object. How to create? Now we'll see. So what is the name of the class? Name of the class is vector followed by reference variable. I am taking the reference variable as v equal to new vector. So here we'll pass zero parameterized constructor. So this is the first method for creation of vector object. So what happens when I create a vector object like this, right? So what is the now comes to the picture, like what is the underlying data structure of vector? That means whenever we store elements into the vector, in what form they'll be stored. So the underlying data structure for vector is underlying data structure for vector is resizable array. What is it? Resizable array. That means an array which can grow and shrink according to the requirement. That is the underlying data structure of vector, right? So whenever I create a vector object, like by using this method, what happens is and a resizable array with default capacity will be created. So the default capacity here is 10. So an array with which can accommodate 10 elements will be created. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. So like this, an array which can accommodate 10 elements will be created and we will be pointing to the array. This is what happens when I create a vector object using the first method, right? Then assume that I have added elements to the vector, right? So like this, v dot some add of 10, v dot some add of string s, v dot add of 20. Like this, assume I have added all the 10 elements into array. So what is the first element? 10. Order of insertion will be preserved or not? Order of insertion will be preserved. So elements will be added in the same order, right? So 10 will be inserted first at the 0th index and s will be inserted at first index and 20 will be inserted at second index. Like this, I assume I have added all the 10 elements. Assume the 10th element is 100. Like this I have added. And what I want to do now is I want to insert some 11th element into this vector object. Now how can I assume? I have written 10 steps here, and now what I am doing trying to do is I am trying to add the 11th element. So v dot add of the 11th element which I am trying to insert is, assume it is 200. So what is my purpose? What is my requirement? My requirement is I want to add 200, which is integer object, at the 11th index position. But can you see here, the array which was created can hold only 10 elements, but what my requirement is to insert the 11th element. Is it possible? Yes, right, because here vector uses resizable array as the underlying data structure. Resizable array means not fixed array. Array with variable size. That means array which can grow and which can be decreased as per the requirement. So now when I try to do this step, when I try to add the 11th element, what happens is a bigger array will be created. So a bigger array will be created, and a bigger array will be created, and all the 10 elements of the old array will be copied into the new array. So what is my first element? 10, right? Second element is S, 20. Like this, all the old elements will be copied into the new array, and at the 11th index position, at the 10th index position, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and 10 11. So at the 10th index position, as 11th element, 200 will be added. So ma'am, here one question may rise for you. Ma'am, you are telling that a bigger size array will be created. Then can you tell us what is the size of the array? How will we know the size of the array? So whenever a older array is full, whenever an older array is full, a bigger size array will be created by using this formula for a vector object. The formula is capacity into 2. So here, with what capacity the older array is created? The older array is created with 10 capacity. That means the array which can accommodate 10 elements. So the bigger size array which was created will be of 20 capacity. That means it will be created with 20 capacity. It can accommodate 20 elements into it. Tomorrow, in later part, imagine this 20 elements array is also filled, right? So, and I want to add one more element, v dot add of 300 as my 21st element. Then what happens? One more time, once the array is filled, a bigger size array will be created. So while creation of bigger size array, so with what formula is applicable? What formula will be applied for creation of bigger size array? So the formula is capacity into 2. So what is the capacity of the earlier created array? The capacity of earlier created array is 20, right? So now 20 into 2. So 20 into 2 equal to 40. So a new array with 40 capacity will be created, and all the elements of the old array will be copied as per the index into the new array, and new element will be inserted at the 20th location as the 21st element. Is it clear? So this is what happens when I create a vector object using the zero parameterized constructor, right? This is the first method for creation of the vector object. Now we'll discuss about the second method for creation of vector object. The second method for creation of vector object is we'll use vector v equal to new vector of int capacity, right? So we'll make use of the constructor which takes integer parameter here. So what happens when I create a vector object using this approach? Whenever I try to create a vector object using this approach, an array will be created with the size specified as capacity. So now we'll see one example. When if I try to create a vector object, vector v equal to new vector of some 100, then what happens is an array which can accommodate 100 elements will be created. That means whatever we specify as capacity, then array which can accommodate that many elements will be created using the second approach. So now if I create a vector object like this, then what happens? An array which can accommodate 100 elements, 0 1 2 like this. How many elements it can accommodate? 100 elements, and index will range from 0 to 99. So like this an array will be created. Imagine I have added all 100 elements, 1 2 3 like this. 100 elements I have added into the array, and now this array is full. Now if I try to add the 101 element into the array, what happens? V dot add of, I want to add 1000 as 101th element into the array. Now what happens? The same picture as of first method, right? A bigger size array with capacity into 2 will be created. Now what is the capacity of the old array that is created? The capacity is 100. Now 100 into 2, a array which can accommodate 200 elements will be created, and all the old elements will be copied, and 1000 will be inserted as the 101th element in the newer array. This is what happens when I create a vector object using the second approach, right? Clear? Now we'll see what is the third approach for creation of vector object. The third approach for creation of vector object is vector v equal to new vector of int capacity comma int increment value. Right? What is this increment value? What happens when I use this third method for creation of vector? If I use this third approach for creation of vector, then what happens is an array with the specified capacity will be created, right? So whatever we assume, I have passed 1000 as capacity here. So an array which can accommodate 1000 elements will be created. So array index will start from 0, 1, 2 and so on. So how many elements it can accommodate? It can accommodate 1000 elements. So the last index will be 999, right? So an array with the specified capacity will be created, and once the array is full, what happens? A bigger array will be created, right? When I try to insert some 1001 element into this array, what happens? A bigger array will be created. While creating the bigger array, it will not use the formula capacity into 2. Capacity into 2 formula will not be used in this approach for creation of bigger array. It will create a bigger array with the specified incremental value. Suppose here I have passed 5 as the incremental value. So while creating the bigger array, it will create an array which can accommodate capacity plus incremental value. What is the capacity? The capacity is 1000 and incremental value is 5. So an array which can accommodate 1005 elements will be created. So how many elements array will be created? 1005 elements storage array will be created. So 1004 is the last index. First index is 0. So this is what happens when I try to create a vector object using the third approach. What is the use of this approach? What is the use? Imagine I have made an arrangement for the classes, and I have arranged a seating capacity of some 200 students initially. I thought that as I am beginning the classes just now, then only 200 students will come, and I have given the capacity as 200, right? 200. But what happened is 250 students came to my classes. So what happens if I use the older approach? If I use the older approach, once initially I have created an array with capacity 200. And while the new array is being created, when 201 students come for admission in the class, what happens if I use the older approach? An array with 400 elements will be created. But how many students have joined my class? Only 250 students have joined my class. So what about the remaining 150 locations? They'll be wasted, right? Yes or no? So to overcome this drawback, this approach can be used, array with incremental capacity. So if I use this approach, what happens? Whatever the capacity I pass, the array with that capacity, incremented capacity of that value will be created. Suppose if I have passed the incremental value as 50, then when the old array is full and it is trying to create a new array, it will create an array which can accommodate 250 students. So what is happening here? The memory wastage is being reduced, right? So this is the third approach for creation of vector object. Now we'll see what is the fourth method for creation of vector object. It is used for conversion of other type of object, other collection object into vector object. Suppose if I want to convert my array list object into vector object, then I'll use this method. If I want to convert my linked list object into vector object, then I'll go for this approach. So my fourth method for creation of vector object is vector v equal to new vector of collection C. So whatever I pass here as collection object, thus that object will be converted into the vector object. This is my fourth method for creation of vector object. Clear everyone? Now we have seen what are the four methods which are available for creation of vector object, right? Clear, right? Now I am going to discuss about what are the various methods available in vector class, right? So what is the difference of vector compared to array list? What is the difference between vector and array list? Earlier we discussed at the beginning of this session, right? First difference is vector is synchronized whereas array list is not synchronized. And the second difference is methods of vector. So the name of the methods of vector are somewhat different compared to array list. Just the names will be somewhat lengthy, but if you see overall the purpose will be same. So have a look at the methods, right? So what is the first method of vector class? The first method is add element of object. So this add element is a method is used for adding an object into the vector, right? So this method is very similar to your add method of collection, right? So we'll just use the name add as the method's name, but here here they have used somewhat lengthy names, that's it, but overall the purpose is same. So add element method is used for adding an object into the vector. Clear? Okay, so the second method is remove all elements. So the purpose of this method is it is used for clearing the vector object. That means it is used for removing all the elements of the vector object. This method is very similar to your clear method of collection, right? So your clear method of list interface, it is very similar to your clear method. So remove all, what is the purpose of remove all elements method? It will remove all the elements, it will remove all the elements, it will remove all the elements from the vector object, right? So this is the purpose of remove all elements method. What is the third method? Third method is element at method, right? So the purpose of this element at method is it will return an element, it will return an object at the specified index position. Here we are passing int index value as the parameter for this method. So whatever the object is available at this index position, that element will be returned. So this is the purpose. Suppose assume that I am having a vector object like this, right? 1 2 3, I am having a vector object like this which can accommodate 10 elements. So index will range from 1 2 3 and so on 9, and I am having some 1, yes, some 2, hello, and 3 4 5 6 7 8, like this I am having in my vector object, right? So now I am trying to apply this method on the, assume the name of the vector is v, right? So what I am trying to do is v dot element at of some 5. So I am calling the element at method on vector. So what does this method returns? What is the return type of this method? The return type of this method is object. So it will return the object which is available at the specified index position. So what index we have passed here? Index number 5, right? So what is the object that is available at index 5? At index 5, 4 is available, so it will return this 4, right? So this is the purpose of the method element at. Element at method will return the object which is present at the specified index. Here what I am doing, I am passing 5 as index number, so this element at method will return the object which is present at the 5th index. So what object is present at the 5th index? 4 is present, so it will return 4. Clear, right? So now we'll go for next method. What is the next method? Next method is first element method. So this method will return the first element which is present in the vector object. So here what is the first element that is present in the vector? First element is 1, right? So this method will return 1, right? So what is the next method? Next method is last element. Last element method will return the last element of the vector object, right? What is the last element? Last element will be present at 9th index, right? So last element of this vector is 8, so this method will return 8, right? Now what is the next method? Next method is int size. So carefully observe these 6th and 7th methods. One is int size and the second one is int capacity. So what is the return type of this size method? The return type of this size method is integer. So this size method will return the number of elements in the vector object here. So it will return number of elements of the vector object. So here how many elements are there in the vector object? Vector object is full, right? So total 10 elements are there. So this size will return 10. Okay, so assume I have created a vector object like this, an array like this is created, and I have stored only 4 objects into it, 0 1 2 3, like this. I have stored 1 string s and 2 hello, like this. Only 4 elements are stored. Now what will size method return? If I try to apply size method on this vector v dot size, then what does this method will return? This method will return number of elements in the vector. Now how many elements are there in this array? Only 4 elements are there, right? So this method will return 4, right? Clear? Then what is the next method? Next method is capacity method. What is the return type of this method? The return type of this method is integer, right? So this capacity method will return the total size of the capacity of the vector. That means how many elements actually this vector can accommodate, right? So the size of the vector will be returned, right? So here what is the size of the vector or array? The size of the vector created is 10, right? So this method v dot capacity will return 10, right? Can you observe the difference? If I call v dot size will return number of elements in the vector, whereas capacity will return what is the total capacity of the vector, right? So that means overall how many elements that vector can accommodate, that thing will be returned. So the observe the difference, right? So what is the next method? Remove element, right? So remove element of object, right? Whatever I have passed here as object, the first occurrence of that object will be removed, right? So for why first occurrence, madam? I told you already, because that vector allows duplicate values. Suppose imagine I am having a vector like this and it can accommodate total 10 elements. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. It can accommodate total 10 elements, and imagine I'm having some integer objects in this vector, right? Assume I'm having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8, right? So what happens if I call this remove element method? So what is the name of this vector? Imagine it is v, right? V dot remove element of what element I want to remove? I assume I want to remove the element 2, right? Clear? So here if you observe this array, at what index locations 2 is available? 2 is available at first index location, and also it is available at second index location. Is it possible? Yes, possible, because vector allows duplicate values. Duplication of objects is allowed any number of times. So 2 is available at one index location and second index location. So when I call remove element of 2, 2 will be removed. Which 2 will be removed? The first occurrence of 2 will be removed. So when 2 is first available in the vector. So at what position 2 is first available in the vector? At first index position it is available. So these 2 will be removed and all the elements will be shifted forward. Clear? This is what happens when I use the remove element method, right? So what is the next method? Next method is remove element at method, right? So this method will remove the element. This method will remove the element at the specified index position. Suppose I am writing like this: v dot remove element at of 6, right? So what happens now? Whatever the object that is available at the 6th index position, that element will be removed. So what is available at the 6th index position? 5 is available. So this will be removed and all the elements will be shifted towards left. Clear? Okay. Now have you got an idea what is the purpose of the remove element at method and remove element method? So these are some of the important methods of vector class. As these are also called as legacy methods. What do you mean by legacy methods? Legacy methods means old methods. They are introduced in Java 1.0 version. Clear? Okay, so with this we have got an idea about what is vector class and what are in how many ways we can create object for a vector class, and what are the various methods of the vector class, right? So in later sessions we'll see one example program on this vector so that you'll get better idea. Okay, thank you everyone.